accommodations that the gentleman did for me and here Eric's group. This is actually a birthday party. It might not appear that way, but Eric and I are approximately the same age. I am senior by about 8 months. And we have both reached the magic age of 65, which in America means you get free medical. Believe me, it means something. And Eric and I have in common, besides the music, which I'll get to, is our love and influence by Elvis Presley. And from Elvis to John Coltrane is a long jump. But somehow we did it. We reminisce about that. We are here actually to announce the publication of this book. It's obviously available up there. Afterwards, if you like our signatures, you can put it on eBay tomorrow. It might be worth a bit more. Title is The Ultmate Sideman, with the help of Geert over here, his publishing and his transcribing. This is truly a history book, and the idea came from, well, you know, musicians like to talk about music. We really talk a lot about it, and we talk about the details and our opinions, and of course, personalities. And jazz is full of folklore. That's what makes up this music, a great part of it. And of course, we're all teachers these days, so we're used to verbalizing and describing what has happened to us. And over the years, I've spent time with Eric, sometimes with Ryan de Graaf, and of course with Marius particularly. And we have car rides here in your country, and we talk. We put on a tape, and we talk about things. This last night, we coming home, where were we? What was the name? Aden. And it was a long ride, and we came home, and I found out about the Scheherazade Club, which I did not know so much about. And Hilda's interaction with the club there, and her husband and so forth. And we always got involved in conversation. So at some point I said, Eric, you know what, we should put a tape recorder on and just do what we do, discuss and talk. And at some point I guess I suggested, or whatever, it appeared that it would be of interest to have a publication through various connections, Gerald, and I got the book out. Now, of course, to talk about musicians demands certain things on the part of the storytellers. Clarity, obviously, technical expertise, know what you're talking about, and most important of all is humility. Looking at other artists, peers, in this case older artists, mostly who Eric talks about, your own countrymen. I learned a lot about Holland, about the Dutch scene, which I didn't know about. To see with a clear eye, without opinion, without rancor, without anything but clarity about the music. It takes a certain kind of personality. We're not all so gifted, and Eric is, if anything, besides an incredibly great musician, as you know. He's a wonderful person, gentleman, and you know, when he picks up Dexter Gordon at the bus station or train or whatever it was, maybe it was horse and buggy then, I don't know. Well, when he picks him up, you know, he is with you 20, maybe 24 hours a day, if you know what I'm talking about, depending on the circumstances. And one thing with Eric, you know, if you're going on tour with him, you can be sure that everything's going to be taken care of, and you will be cared for it, and any needs and so forth will be addressed. He has played with everybody. It is an incredible list, which is why I thought this should be published. It's everybody known, lesser known, from countless countries, and of course, many of the American giants who spent so much time in Europe, beginning in the late 60s. Prior to that, but really with a great influx in the 60s and 70s. And as I note in the book here, you know, we, American musicians, we depend on Europe for our art. I mean, making a living, of course, but also playing with European musicians and spreading the word and interacting and so forth. And because of his personality, because of who he is, he's played with everybody. And this is not just Eric's story, it's really the story of jazz in the last 50 years. And of course, many of these masters are not alive anymore, so this is definitely a testament to their creativity and their personalities and their presence and what they contributed to the scene. So I'm very proud of this, and I'm amazed. I mean, I couldn't believe it when he said it would actually be a book, come out, and be able to be on paper. So I congratulate Gerald for his work, and of course, Eric, was a great honor to be involved with this. You should tell something.
Thank you, Dave, for the kind words. And also, that you wanted to share this with me and to kick me in my ass, because he's very good in that. And thanks to David, the book is here. I also thank to Gerald. And I think I want to also thank for this whole evening, also for Henk Meutgeert and the orchestra, all the guys who play so fantastic. It's a new generation who play their asses off. And also, thanks for my quintet. The guys are, I mean, if I have to pay them really, I was poor. But these guys are unbelievable nice, and they play fantastic. I'm so happy with this band. And I really want to thank them also for keeping up with me. And also my family, my wife, who is married to a workaholic. And, but she understands, and my daughter, and I'm very happy with them, and also with her husband. And thank you. Well, it's a great honor for me that this evening finally came off the ground. This little tour of 3 days. Yesterday, Ede, today, Amsterdam, tomorrow, and Apeldoorn in Orpheus. And I think it's a fantastic thing. And I also can say, please buy the book. I worked for it for 3 years, and David did an incredible job. And I mean, just read it, buy it. 15 euros, that's nothing. Thank you very much.
Dames en heren, wij gaan naar het laatste stuk. Het laatste stuk van de tweede set. Getiteld Enigma Interactive XL. Weet u waar het voor staat? Initialen. Enigma E. Interactive I. Alleen het enige wat ik betwijfel wat dat is, XL weet ik niet, het is dus Eric Ineke. Gecomponeerd door Rob van Bavel, Cherokee. Alleen het XL, dat moet je me even verklaren. Wat is dat, Erik?
Dat is die orchestra. Yes. Maar voordat we verder gaan met het stuk. XXL. XXL. Oh, oké. Hoor je het, Rob? XXL. Oké. Maar voordat we verder gaan wil ik nog even. In dit stuk hebben we een gast. En ik ben ontzettend blij dat hij er is. Dus iemand met wie ik eigenlijk al die verhalen die ik heb opgeschreven ook heb beleefd. En hij is een groot deel geweest van mijn carrière, mag je wel zeggen. En heb ik veel aan hem te danken gehad. En ik ben blij dat hij hier is en de parcours wil meespelen. Dames en heren, Rijn de Graaf.